What's going on, good people? Rich here, co-host of the Culture Garden podcast, back at it again with another episode of the Culture Garden podcast, special edition, best episode ever series. We're continuing with Entourage. This week we're discussing season 3. You know I'm not at this dolo. You know I got my dogs with me, my own entourage, if you want to say. Got my brother Chaz, my brother Spike Lou in the building with me. What's going on, fellas?
What's goody?
What's
Happy to
happening,
be
brother?
here.
Hey, man, happy to be here too, man. Hey, what if I was to tell you that we had a podcast to determine the best episode of Entourage? Is that something you might be interested in?
That's something I might be interested in.
Something you might be interested in. Shout out to Bob Ryan, man. Shout out to Bob Ryan. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this episode. Season 3 is a good, dare I say, maybe the best episode. I mean, best season of Entourage as a whole. Obviously, there are 2 different sections of the season, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. Before we get into it, just want to do some housekeeping. If you don't know, we got y'all television podcast. Shout out to Ray P over there running things. We have one more episode of House of the Dragon. The season finale, we'll be recording that next week and releasing it next week. Then we'll be off for a week, and then we're tuning right back into Bel Air season 3. So we do have that feed active. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. The information is in the link tree in the episode description. If you're looking on YouTube, you can see Spike Lou's background, all of the things that he's a part of. He probably needs a bigger background, man. That probably ain't even everything yet.
I gotta expand that now.
Yeah, man. Frames per second, Data and Sports, another week in the books, Good Earners, Sopranos, On Deck TV. Is the mic still on? Like I said, he needs a bigger background. And then you got my brother Chaz, who's also joining us here. He's been a guest on the Culture Garden. I got some things planned for my dog. A nice little special series for Culture Garden that will be starting up probably at the beginning of next year.
Sounds good to me.
It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. But y'all know what y'all here for. Y'all are here for Entourage. There will be spoilers and explicit content. Obviously, if you're new to this, the best episode ever series is a way for us to talk about some classic television shows and really find out what the best episode of that series is. Talking about it season by season. Each week is dedicated to a season. Obviously, we had week 1 and week 2 with seasons 1 and 2. And we're going to go ahead and continue this recap. The show was created by Doug Ellen. I want to make sure I give him his props. He wrote a lot of the episodes as well. Mark Wahlberg, Steve Levinson, their executive producers. It stars Adrian Grenier as Vince, Kevin Connolly as E, Kevin Dillon as Johnny Drama, and Jerry Ferrara as Turtle. And you also have Jeremy Piven as Ari Gold. Before we get started with season 3, I want to do a recap. Of seasons 1 and 2. So Chaz picked Busey and the Beach for season 1 and Exodus for season 2. Those episodes are going to the finale. For Spike Lee, he had The Scene for season 1 as his best episode. He also had Exodus with Chaz for season 2. And then I had The Scene for season 1 and An Offer Refused for season 2. Retroactively going back and looking back, I don't know, man. I might have been bugging a little bit.
You might change it.
I ain't gonna change it. I ain't gonna do that because y'all already got the Exodus in there, so it's all good. I'm still taking An Offer Refused, but when I look at it as a whole, that's one thing about this, right? When you know what's happening, when you know how the series pans out, sometimes certain episodes that should have a little bit higher prestige, you don't appreciate them as much compared to in real time. Like when I was watching that for the first time, didn't know anything else. It's like, oh shit, that's a big deal. Already getting fired, getting kicked out of the agency, all of that stuff. But either way, y'all brought it in the finale, so it's all good.
Real quick, just wanted to shout out. I got Bricks VS God, first time watching, man, and he joining us as we review and break him down. He said this is his first time watching Entourage. He's thoroughly enjoying it. He right in on a lot of the pods. So I just want to show him some love.
Nice, man. Shout out to Briggs V, man. He's always around supporting. You definitely appreciate that, man. I tell everybody all the time, you have no idea. For the people who are in this podcast space, you understand what I'm about to say. You have no idea the impact it makes when somebody just takes a few seconds out their day to write a comment, send a message, just to say, hey, man, I appreciate what y'all doing, man. I'm enjoying what y'all doing. It just gives us that motivation to keep going. Hopefully this content will hold up to the show itself. So we appreciate you, Bricks. Chris Falone, man, our guy. Spike and myself know Chris from Good Earners. Yeah, man, he's like extended family at this point. But he did reach out to myself and Spike on Instagram and just said he listened to Entourage episode on Culture Garden. Said we stay cooking. Also gave the recommendation Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Which was a good recommendation.
Great recommendation for best episode ever series. I'm 100% down for that. We've got a few recommendations and we need to really sort out what's going on. I guess an early announcement is I'm probably going to make this its own feed. I think the best episode ever series is going to be something that we can do all the time. And I'll work that out. I'll figure out the tools when it comes to that, or the ins and outs. But either way, that's a long way away. We're going to focus on what we're doing right now. As I mentioned, season 3 of Entourage. This released in 2 parts. So they're called Part A and Part B. Part A made its debut on June 11th of 2006. Part B made its debut on April 8th, 2007. Spike Lou, what's your overall thoughts about season 3?
You know what I thought, and I say this to when we started, I thought this was going to be taxing because I totally forgot that it was 20 episodes until you mentioned it last week. So as you mentioned, I was like, oh my God, shit. I'm going to have to watch 20 episodes before we record again because I'm watching it in real time and not going off memory. And as I got to watching it, though, you forget how much you enjoy this fucking show, man. And like you said earlier, it's one of the best seasons, too, as far as laying a lot of foundational work for stuff that happens later. And I vaguely remember some of the stuff, but you do remember it as it starts to play out here. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that's why this happened. That's why that happened. So nowhere near as taxing as I thought it would be. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Usually when I'm rewatching stuff or watching it for podcasts, I watch it in the background while I'm working. I even found myself turning this on randomly on Saturday, watching it when I was chilling versus being watching something new. But yeah, I really enjoyed this season.
Same. Nothing like a quick show, like a quick 26 minutes, 28 minutes, 30 minutes. Like there's nothing like get in and out. And it feels longer than that when you're watching it. You know what I mean? Some of the episodes feel a little bit longer. Chaz, what about you, man? What were your thoughts when you were reviewing season 3?
So this is my favorite season out of the series. So we'll start with that. Also, I already got fired because of E on some real shit. That was E's fuck up first. And E continually fucks up. And I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't even be saying fuck up.
Nah. But go ahead.
I mean, man, I cannot, like, everything that Ari told him in the beginning of this whole series about how you're going to manage your best friend out of the business. He continuously does stuff that it's like, bruh, this is a complete and utter rookie mistake, or this is a complete and utter, it just doesn't make any kind of fucking sense. If you're my manager, you gotta manage certain situations. He completely drops the ball on a lot of shit. It's just on. It's like almost every other episode is like you almost thinking like, damn, E, you can't be this fucking incompetent. But he is.
He gonna prove you wrong. He gonna prove you right, should I say? Let me ask you this, Chaz and Spike. I want to ask both of you guys this. Could you see yourself, if you're Vince, could you see yourself having a friend of yours run your career? Do you think that would work for you?
I would prefer it.
You would prefer it?
Because, but a friend, not a yes man friend though. Like I don't feel like Yi is a yes man friend, but a friend. I would prefer somebody that knows me, who I can have a contentious conversation with, and it not be taken a certain way. I feel like in a worker-employee relationship, when it's people that you don't know or somebody that you just hired, of course they may be good at it, but there's a personal aspect that may be missing. And sometimes it's good. You don't get too close with, people you're doing business with. But I would prefer either being in that position or putting somebody in that position where we can have real conversations. You out here making real moves. You're making real money. And if we disagree on some stuff, so be it. Whatever. Friendship ain't fucked up from it. But yeah, I would prefer that.
What about you, Bugs?
So I I agree to a certain extent, but it just depends on the friend. Could I
Mhm.
have Rich? Absolutely, because I know he not gonna steer me wrong intentionally. B, we gonna talk it out. Whether it's good or bad, we ain't gotta agree on everything. I know he gonna give me the real every time. You know what I'm saying? That is something that you need. You need somebody that's gonna pull you down to reality. And
Facts.
at certain points when he's supposed to, he just doesn't. And you know what I'm saying? There's certain times when like letting them sell the house. They buy the script. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my whole entire life. Like
it was the fact that there was no let's sit down and make sure this is the right decision. I'm not mad at the idea, but let's just make sure we go through all the steps. And my answer would be the same as yours, Chaz. When I asked that question, I thought about you. And I couldn't even put Spike in that category, man. I know Spike well enough because that's what you need. You need someone, as you mentioned, Chaz, that's just going to give it to you real. And you can have those conversations, those uncomfortable conversations, and still come out on the other side cool because you know what the intent is. It's not on no sucker shit. It's not on no I'm trying to hurt somebody's feelings. It's not I'm trying to big dog this nigga. Like, nah, we both passionate about what we talk about. I live with Chaz. Me and Chaz live with each other. So we've had those moments where we look at each other, nigga, who the fuck is you talking to?
right.
and it not turn into anything because we both have that same personality. Like Chaz is one of those, like two of my favorite Chaz quotes are I don't give a fuck if you in the mood. And you can save your sorries and your lies for somebody else.
Yeah, save your sorries for your lies one day for somebody else. One day you'll need them.
Yeah, one day you'll need them, man. You don't hit me with that sorry and lie shit. I don't need them. I ain't the nigga to lie to. You ain't gotta do none of that shit. Just keep it a buck. Just keep it a buck.
That's a great quote. That's one of the important things. Like being your respect for another man goes up so much when you can have those conversations, and it is contentious, but it don't escalate because both of y'all know like it ain't worth that. But still, we finna have this convo, nigga. And like you finna hear what I gotta say, right. And then on the other end, like, okay, you gonna listen to what I gotta say too, nigga. But it's not escalating towards that.
Yeah, man. Like and like I said, man, it's there'll be times where you just sitting in your own world. You in your own world doing your thing, man. You ain't in the mood for it, man. Hey, man, go on somewhere with that shit, man. Chad, go on. I ain't trying to. Hey, man, I don't give a fuck if you in the mood. We gonna have to talk about this right now.
Right. You
this needs to be addressed right now, and you got to have that, man. So, I think both of you are absolutely right. It really depends on the friend. I would love to have a friend in the circle that can handle the business, man. You see what Brian does. Brian is the perfect example. Of taking your team. And then you turning them, you got the weight, you got the power. Now I'm about to legitimize them. And now they the ones. Now Rich Paul, one of the biggest agents in the game. Like my nigga about to marry Adele. Like, that's just a nigga from Cleveland, bro. Like just some random dude that happened to sell jerseys to Bron. Like that's the power of nepotism and really putting your people on. So it can be done. But man, oh man, are there times where here's the biggest thing too. And I think all three of us have this trait. We're not afraid of we know what we don't know. Like, I'm not about to fuck up your career if I don't know something. Like, I'm okay talking to Ari, like, yo, like, of course there's gonna be some times where I'm like, all right, man, keep it real with me about this shit, because I know this is what you do. You sell people. But at the same time, like, this is what I think should be happening. What do you think? Or I don't know nothing about, like, scripts and turnaround, like, all that shit. Like, I need some help in this. I'm cool on that. But you guys are absolutely right. Let's talk about some guest appearances. So we talked about famous celebrity appearances or favorite celebrity appearances throughout the seasons. I thought this season is where it revved up, should I say? Next season, season 4 is when you really start getting A-lister after A-lister make their cameos. But we'll talk about it. 20 episodes. So in part A, episode 1, you have Big Boy, not from Outkast, but Big Boy Radio. James Woods, who was a dickhead in real life. That chick he was with had some talent.
He's still a dickhead in real life.
James Woods, the worst type.
They say that. They say that.
Really?
Well, he the worst type. Like he up there with Chevy Chase.
He does.
He looked like it, bro. He looked like he an ass.
Oh yeah, he an ass, bro.
So
like
he was just playing himself, really.
Hey, think about this. When's the last time you seen James Wood in anything? That nigga got blackballed from Hollywood.
That's true.
Like he an ass, bro.
Dang.
He's an ass.
Hey, you know what? I can't remember the last time I seen
exactly
outside of this,
bro. I'm trying to think of what it was. It was something that he did on Twitter that they was like, "Oh hell nah, bro, you out of here." Either way, man, that chick he was with had some talent. I will say
Facts.
that she had some talent.
Facts.
And then obviously James Cameron was in episode 1. Surprisingly, episodes 2, 3, 4, no celebrity appearances. Then you get to episode 5, Paul Haggis, the director, and then you have Penny Marshall, and once again, Spike's favorite rapper, Saigon.
Who?
Episodes episode 6, no appearances. Episode 7, Seth Green. Shout out to Seth Green, man. Episode 8, you have Ed Burns. Episode 9, you have Seth Green again. Episode 10, you have Saigon, and then you have Juicy J and DJ Paul. I'm not going to call them 3-6 Mafia. I come from the era where you got to have all the members of 3-6 for me to call you 3-6. But you definitely had Juicy J and DJ Paul. Episode 11, you had another Ed Burns appearance and the late DJ AM, and then no appearances in episode 12. We jump over to part B. First 3 episodes, 13 through 15, no appearances. Episode 16, we have Chuck Liddell and Pauly Shore. Ed Burns shows up again in episode 17. No famous celebrities playing themselves in episode 18, but I do got to shout out Lauren London, who plays Kelly. And then episode 19, we have Brett Ratner, and no appearances in episode 20. So, looking at this list of everybody
Brandon
Bruce
Buffer was in 16. Bruce Buffer. Let's get
Bruce
rid of
Buffer.
Rumble.
Yes. Yeah. Bruce Buffer was in one. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He was in the Gotcha episode. Damn, I meant to put him down too. I'm looking at this list, right? I said Chuck Liddell.
Okay.
It was some girl that was a porn star in episode 20, but I don't even remember. Oh, the wife. Was that the episode with the wife? Some chick named Monique Alexander per Wikipedia.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I wasn't.
Yeah,
we know.
I had never seen it before.
See what type of sites Spike was on back in the day.
I just seen it on Wikipedia.
I'm looking at this list, right? And I was thinking about this week. I was thinking, like, damn, not overall popularity, but at the time of this show, like at the time of it coming out, 06 and 07, I'm looking at this list and I'm thinking to myself, like, who was the most famous at the time of the show? And it got to be Juicy J and DJ Paul, right? Like, they had to be the most famous people at this time in 06 and 07.
Yeah.
Right, after coming off that Oscar win, and because remember they had their own MTV show for a minute.
This was Whoop That Trick.
It did.
Hey, listen, sidebar.
That show is a must see. If you've never seen that show, man, that show is must. It's DJ Paul, one of the funniest niggas ever.
Hilarious, unintentionally funny too. One of them niggas.
Unintentionally, yes.
Shout out to Mo. There's only one thing that pissed me off about that show. That MTV show. Project Pat would show up in there and they would say that he was 3-6's protege. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, bro, like he was some up and coming rapper. Like, nigga, that's Project Pat. Like, you know,
right.
Niggas that stole his flow and shit
right.
like that. Yeah, so you can tell the show was made for people who don't, know what's going on. But Project Pat is that nigga. But yeah,
I would say they were. I would say they were.
Nice. Maybe Chuck Liddell. The UFC is really on the come up at that time, 06, 07. Chuck Liddell was probably the biggest star. Yeah, I would say out of everybody on this list, I think that 3-6 is probably the ones. They probably the ones. Did either one of you have a favorite appearance? I'm not gonna lie. I just said he's a dickhead, but James Wood is my favorite appearance of the season.
James Wood was one of them for me. That was really good. Let's see who else we got here.
I got him.
James Wood was my favorite. Well, excuse me. James Wood was good. Seth Green was my favorite one. That was
Seth Green was definitely my favorite.
He played that perfectly. Tell Sloan I said, "What's up?" Did you tell
Sloan? Man, listen, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Hey, We gonna talk about it. Trust me.
I want to know good because I want to know how many times a nigga can ask y'all that. I really want to know the answer.
Listen, hold that thought, my nigga, because I'm telling you, none of that shit. Hey, none of that shit would have went down the same way at all, man. I will say this: Seth Green did have one of my favorite moments of the season when he saw E at the pool, asked him about Sloan originally. This is before Vegas, and he said, then he saw Tori. He was like, "Oh, okay, my bad." He was like, "Hey, it ain't what you," he said, "It ain't what it looked like." He said, "It never is." Hey, that's some real shit. It never is, my nigga. Do your thing, bruh.
Yeah, that Seth Green body there. That's my number one. I like Chuck Liddell as well.
All right, we got favorite quotes. I've been rotating it each week. I think week 1, Chad started. Spike, you started last week. I'm gonna go ahead and start this week. Some of my favorite quotes of the season. Ari, I want every desk sterile enough for you to get trained on. He was talking to Lloyd. It's not meant to be funny, but it's hilarious when you watch it in the delivery. Drama's trying to get some representation, and this nigga Ari says, "I say it's important. Whoever reps you cares about you, right?" Like pretty much saying, "I don't give a fuck about you enough to rep you, bro." One of my favorite moments in Entourage, period, when Drama and Turtle get that lunch with Ari, and they trying to make that pitch, and Turtle getting frustrated, like, Ari, Vince said, and that nigga Ari said, Vince said you give me a piece of pussy because he's famous. Like, get the fuck out of my face, bro. Stop talking to me about what Vince said. Ari got to be running up the wall with these niggas. Because Ari's, I can't believe I got to deal with y'all. The episode with Tori, who was Sloan's friend, the threesome, when Drama and Turtle were trying to hit on her, Drama said, "Did you hear what she said when I offered her to buy her a drink?" He said, "No." She said, "No, thank you." He was like, "What a bitch." Ari once again telling him about the Aquaman, him being kicked off A2. Vince is out. Jake Gyllenhaal is in. Broke back motherfucking Aquaman. Take that, bitch. And then of another one of my favorite lines from Ari in the Vegas episode, after they're down at the tables, E wants to go call Sloan. Turtle asks Ari, "You gonna call your wife?" That nigga Ari said, "I don't care if my wife getting fucked right now. I'm trying to get my money back."
Hey, this was a great quote for Ari, bro.
Hey, I don't care if
many I had to just leave off.
Do you know how down you gotta be at the tables to literally mean it? I don't care if my wife getting fucked right now, bro. I'm down way too much at these tables. I gotta get my bread back. That shit was crazy. Chaz, man, what you got? Yeah, that shit's silly.
I got shit. Yeah, it's just crazy. I got and Turtle. All my sisters love to fuck. True story. I asked them when they interview. True story. Josh Weinstein, when they were going shopping their deals and stuff like that. I got Ari, speak or I will interview like it's 1942. He's talking to Lloyd. Crazy.
Hey, that nigga said, "I'm not Japanese, Ari."
Right. like
that's like Polly Walnuts. That's like Polly Walnuts and Sopranos. Never forget Pearl Harbor. Don't forget Pearl Harbor. Like, bro, come on, y'all wild.
Oh shit.
They got another Ari quote. Dana, I've never cheated on my wife, not since she became my wife. But if you want to jerk me in the car right now, I'm game.
Great season.
I understood. He was. Hey, listen. He was excited. I understand. He was right there. I feel it. And then another one from Eric. Have I ever said no to? Have I ever said no to Vegas?
Like saying no to a blowjob.
Yep. You're right. Nobody says no to Vegas. Nobody says no to Vegas. Like, you got the bread. That's the only. If you ain't got the bread, and sometimes if you ain't got the bread, you still say fuck it.
You're going to
Vegas. Go to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So
we both out of town, dog. What you trying to get into?
What you trying to get into? You know, one of my favorite lines from Hove. And then the last one, all great men have to sacrifice. Oh, I'm sorry. All great men have had to make great sacrifices at some point in their lives. Ari, that's true. So you know what I'm saying? That's just a bit of truth right there. So those are my favorite quotes. And then yeah, you had a couple of them as well. So
yeah, no doubt, man. Spike, what you got? Anything else on the list?
Yeah, I wrote a couple down, man. Some of them y'all had already, so I'll skip over. Some of them didn't. First one, the aforementioned James, what's his name?
James Wood.
The asshole.
James Woods.
James Wood.
Yeah.
So this is the shithole you've been working out of, huh? Lloyd, you haven't been up here yet. James, no, he's hiding this place like Anne Frank. Drama talking to E about body language. Vince being charming is all about body language, bro. E, Vince knows how to charm people. Drama, yeah, women, but man charm is totally a different animal. You got to get close enough to entice, but not too close as to encroach. E to Ari, Vince really wants to do Medellin. He started learning Spanish. Ari, I know he left me 15 messages on the machine. My wife thinks I'm fucking the gardener. Drama to E, take this seriously. E, with opportunity knocks, let her the fuck in, and for God's sake, let your girlfriend go down. Let her go down on your girlfriend.
Absolutely.
Talking about the threesome. Vince and E, what do you? I know what you're obsessing about. Excuse me, I got to get this one right because it's my favorite of the season. Vince to E, I don't know what you're obsessing about. When he woke up the next morning from the threesome, E was like, well, what if she thinks I'm a freak? And Turtle hit her with an unsolicited snuggle. You are a freak.
Yeah.
My favorite one. And Barb to Ari, you have no money. I have too much. Ari, so what do you want to do? Barb to fuck. I'm kidding. I want 60%. My name on top. Ari, I'd rather fuck.
I'd rather fuck.
When Turtle was looking for Zygon, Turtle, where the fuck is Zygon? Drama? Maybe he got clipped in a drive-by. That would suck.
Hey man, they had some classic quotes this season. I just thought of one. I just thought of one between Bob and Ari where they was arguing, and Bob said, "Don't forget who found this script." He said, "Yeah, where you find it? Under your pillow? If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have uncovered it until the estate sale."
Two more I got.
Dogging.
They was done. Two more, and the problem with having that's the problem with having a hot looking agent, says Turtle. Drama said that's the problem with having hot looking women in the workplace in general. They should be barred because no man can say no to them. E, you should run for president on that one. Drama, you can't run on the truth. E. And then the famous Amanda to Vince, the second favorite. I hate sexual attention, Vince. It always leads to confusion. Vince, I couldn't agree more. Amanda, good. Then let's get it out of the way by fucking each other's brains out and never speaking about it again so we can move on to a very successful and professional client relationship. Probably one of the realest quotes I've ever read from a woman. So
absolutely. What if I told you I had a 22-inch cock? Was that something you might be interested in? Hey, Ari was dogging Bob shit, man. Rightfully so, man. Hey, listen, let me ask you this right now. Let me ask you this right now, man. Y'all taking Bob Ryan to the meetings? Y'all taking Bob to the meetings?
Yeah, I would have. Well, after that first one, I would have had to sit down and like, look, bro, speak when spoken to. I would have had to give him a game plan. He would have had to show me twice. I would have kicked him out in the first one because it was his movie. But if that second one he had been bullshitting, no more meeting for you. Yeah, but he did seem like he got it. That was low down, lock him out, man.
No,
that nigga said, Marlon. He talked about his gardener said Marlon Brando used to come over here 3 times a week to stick it in her ass, and that's before it was fashionable. That shit's silly. Bob Ryan, man. Shout out to Bob Ryan. All right. We got some films this season as far as Vince films that either they discussed or he actually went to go ahead and film. Obviously, Aquaman 2 is going to be a focal point of season 3. There were some mentions about a movie called Flight, The Sandman. Obviously, Medellin gets brought into it again. And then I Want to Be Sedated, the Ramones biopic. Those are all films that were discussed throughout the season. So here's what I want to do. And I definitely want to have an Aquaman 2 conversation. So we'll save that. But let me ask both of you this. I want to see if you're with me on this. Part A is better than Part B, would you say? The first 12 episodes are better than the last 8.
I thought differently. I thought the last 8 were better. Yeah, I enjoyed the end of the season more than the beginning of the season.
Oh,
most of my episodes.
Chad, what about you?
I'm actually going. So as far as my top 5, The majority
hold
of
on.
the top 5.
Let me ask you this:
No.
Did you guys split them up? Did you do 5
Nah, I
for
watched
part A and 5 for part B?
No.
I watched this.
No.
Oh shit, I didn't.
I split them up. I did the number one.
I did my favorite.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
So
had I known that, I'd have had a different.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So here's what you can do. Keep your list. We'll still go through it as normal. However, each one of you gets one episode from part A and then one episode from part B to take to the finale.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
you can just do it in real time and kind of look through it, sort through it, whatever you need to do. And this is my week to go ahead and kick things off. So I'm gonna go ahead. What were you saying, Chaz? Also before about most of your episodes were from which part?
Part B.
Part B.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and start with part A then. I'm gonna start with part A. I'm gonna go through 5 through 3 as you guys look through your list, just to give you a little time to kind of sort some things out.
Mm-hmm.
So part A, my number 5 episode. Make sure I'm on part A. Yeah. Number 5 episode, Three's Company. Three's Company is obviously the episode where E gets a proposition from Sloan, gets the drunk call from Sloan and Tori to go ahead and have a threesome. And obviously, E of all people would be the one that you would think would fumble this. And a Sloan would be the woman that you would think would have some rules. Let me ask you both of you this question. Your girl hits you up, her home girl in town.
Yes.
Hits you with a yeah, man. All right. No, that's not the question. So that's not the question. Here's the question. You find out that the homegirl said, or that your girl says, we can do the threesome, but you can't have sex with my homegirl. She can be there. Me and her can mess around. Are you still saying yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Hopefully that I can convince her when we no, I still say yes.
Chaz, what about you, man?
No, I'm passing in general.
In general, you passing all together. Why?
Yeah. So I don't want to have sex with my girl and her girl.
He said,
I just feel like that's listen.
What if the girl was random?
Have sex,
what if it wasn't her friend? What if y'all picked a girl?
I wouldn't. I don't know. Like, not to go in too much detail about my personal life, but I think you should kind of do that with 2 random chicks versus. I don't necessarily know if you should include your woman in this. Like, if that's for you, that's for you. But just know that there's some possibility that some shit might pop off the wrong way. And I don't know if you want to open that Pandora's box.
That's very mature. That's very mature.
Very mature. Yeah, you could definitely. Yeah, because he was definitely about to jump on Tori. He was on it. Yeah, understandably so, because you get that close. And like, hold on, man. I done seen you naked. I was snuggling with you the whole 9, man. I gotta see what's up. Like Sloan in the other room sleep. I'll take you down on this couch right now.
He was tempted.
Right now.
Man. Waking up at 5 was nasty work. Or not even knowing if the nigga went to sleep and was thinking about that pussy all night and going in there and catching her before she left. Man, that's crazy work right there.
He had to leave the event early because he couldn't be in that same room. Hundreds of people in this room, and he couldn't even be there because all he could think about was Tori.
That's nasty.
He said, I want to take her in the coat room right now. I ain't even a coat room type of nigga. I'll take her in the coat room right now to give her some action. Obviously, at this point of the season, so my number 5, Three's Company, Vince is already fired from he's not fired from A2, but he's not budging from his asking price. He got played. He asked for $20 million. Vince still isn't budging from that, so Ari's doing the runaround trying to get Vince to have him agree to it. Obviously, Johnny doesn't have a job, so Johnny needs a job. Vince has a whole Ari takes his episode where he tells all his agents, your only job today is to get Johnny Drama a job. Lloyd obviously gets involved as well. It's the first time we hear about 5 towns, which ends up being a big part of the show. What else do we have? Vince not showing up for breakfast because he's hanging out with Amanda, understandably so. And then also drama with another classic line. I love these. I should include a category of what guest appearances did Johnny Drama have, because he was playing the Godfather game. And Turtle said that's as close as you're going to get to working with an Academy Award winner. And this nigga said, I guess my 3-episode guest spot on A Different World with Marissa Tomei doesn't count. The fact that Johnny Drama was on A Different World, just picturing that shit is hilarious.
Man, facts. And his other drop was that's when I did my 3-episode arc on 90210 where I sexually harassed Tori Spelling.
Yeah.
That was funny.
He got another one. That we're gonna get to. It's in one of my episodes, man. But that's my number 5. Does anybody, Chaz, are you ready for your number 5 of season 1? Are you sorted, or how do you want to do it?
No, you know what? Actually, that was my number 5 going into it either way. So yeah, I can for season 1. Damn.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go ahead and go through my season 1.
Hey, right?
What'd you say? You broke up a little bit. My bad.
I'm saying, yeah. So that was my number 5. So since we're doing for A and B, that's gonna be my number 5 for part A.
Okay, then got you.
Yeah, no,
Spike, how you want to do it? Because I know you only had the 5 episodes. I can go through my.
I only had the 5, but 2 of them are from season 1, and I'm looking at the list right now, so I can give you a number 5 ad hoc. And if I had to, it would be the One Day in the Valley for number 5. Just the party with the kids, and you know how they hooked them up, and the suspense of not knowing the numbers because of the blackout and getting the news at the end. I think that's a turning point episode. We talk about this on Good Earners a lot, Rich. Turning point episode to where Vince is becoming a real legitimate star. So One Day in the Valley will be number 5 for me.
Absolutely. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through my 4 through 2. And then I'm going to do the same for I'm going to go through my 4 through 2 for part A. And then I'm going to have you guys, since you guys only have 5, and then you just chime in if you feel the need or if you had it on your list.
I got it now.
Okay, cool.
I'm looking at it.
For A and B. Okay, cool. My bad. Before we even got into it, I forgot to mention my honorable mentions for part A. My honorable mentions for part A were Dominated, Guys and Doll, What About Bob, and I Want to Be Sedated.
I won't lie. One of my least favorite characters was Dom. I didn't enjoy any of that.
That's a common thing. Like his run wasn't really that well received. Obviously, that's Herc from The Wire. Shout out to Herc. But yeah, Dom on here just didn't make a ton of sense. It was cool to see another person from Queens just kind of pop up on him. I was gonna ask y'all.
Oh, we forgot that was another cameo. Weebay was in it. The dude that played Weebay
I didn't
hung drama over the
but he didn't play himself. So that's why I didn't mention him. Don't worry, that episode's in my list. That episode's on my list. Yeah, we ain't got to spend too much time on Dom. I was just gonna say Dom. I don't know if Dom would have been at the crib, man. I don't know.
5, like somebody had a perfect quote. 4 is just enough. 5 is too many.
Yeah, 5 is too many for that, man. That's just a little bit rough. All right, now my number 4. My number 4 for season 3, part A. Sorry, Ari. Sorry, Ari is my number 4. We needed this in the show, right? You got that look, man. What's up, Chaz? You got that look. What's up? It's too low?
I feel like it is.
So that goes back to what I said earlier. It's in real time. If I'm watching this in real time and I don't know anything else, I've never seen another episode of Entourage after this, it's probably number 1, right? Top 2 for sure. I think there's a little bit of that. You know what's going on. You know that you can't have this show without Ari being Vince's agent, but you need this. You have to see, because here's the great thing about Entourage, right? We already talked about it in our premiere episode, but it brings you you take a peek behind the curtains of Hollywood and the ins and outs and how the actual business side of it works, right? Not the fan side, but this is the business side. So you have to see what it looks like when a A-lister fires his agent. Ari got the brand new office. Ari got a ton of other clients. He's in business with Babs now. E even told him like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when you were in your little small shitty office in the valley, it was all Vince all the time. Now we can't even get a call back from you, man. Them going on their agent tour and Drama having the best advice the whole episode. Really, like, listen, man, you don't go to your you don't break up with your girl until you flirt a little bit. See what else is out there, right? That's the whole purpose of this. So they go on their agent visits and they realize, man, all this shit is fake. Then they try to give Ari one more chance, and Ari hit him with the same shit they did. Like, damn, bro, you couldn't even tell me as a friend that you're sorry. And then he said, oh, man, is that all you wanted? And I'll never forget the moment. And I'm glad that they let E do it because of the beef between Ari and E throughout all, the seasons. But I'm glad they had the moment where Vince told him it's too late, and E just looks at him and said, you're fired, Ari. And then they just walk off. And that's how they ended part A. So you got to wait until April of the following year to even see what happens, who's his new agent, the whole nine. I thought it was incredible television. It probably is ranked a little bit too low. I know it wasn't going to be my number one either way. So I'm cool with it being number 4. Chaz, what you got for number 4? We good.
For number 4, I got One Day in the Valley. Just, once again, just seeing Vince kind of just in the element amongst the people. That was just, what I'm saying? I love that moment for him. Like, I
don't know how y'all niggas got that. I don't know how y'all niggas got that so low.
Man, listen. All mine, right? All the top 3 is like all interchangeable. Actually, what I'm saying? Like, kind of 4 is kind of interchangeable too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all like tops up, but just seeing Vince in his element and seeing like what I'm saying, like he being on the cusp of stardom, thinking like, what I'm saying, like not knowing like if the blackouts is really going to affect how, what I'm saying, like how this is received. And it's just, and then when they see that when, what I'm saying, when he finally got them numbers and he's on top of the house and, what I'm saying, it's like he really got that, like, damn, what I'm saying, I made it. It's like, that was that, look, mama, we made it moment for me. And I kind of loved it for him. So I love that whole dynamic of that whole episode. Unfortunately, yeah, like I say, it's lower, but you'll see why.
I'll talk about it. I'll talk about that episode a little bit as we move along. Spike, what's your number 4 for part A?
My number 4 is going to be Crash and Burn. Facing the scheduling conflict, the boys keep Aquaman 2 alive. They try to keep the director happy, and Turtle has to sit down with Ari to discuss his options. We finally see Turtle starting to get a little motion, make his own money, and not be as dependent on Vince. That was what stood out to me in this episode. And I thought it was dope that Ari was willing to give him a shot, listen to him, as far as representation. So yeah, I thought all of that as far as Crash and Burn was pretty good, especially with being a Turtle fan.
Listen, for everybody out there listening right now, if you've heard Spike and myself on Good Earners, you heard Spike and myself on Another Week in the Books, you know that we share the same brain. I only say that because literally in my notes says Turtle got motion. So the fact that Spike just said that is crazy. It never fails. Every time me and Spike record, there's something that one of us was either thinking, about to say, all that. It never fails. That's a perfect segue because that's your number 4. That's actually my number 3, Crash and Burn. You need the 90 days to shoot Medellin. I think this is fascinating, right? I got the movie I've been chasing for 2 years. The only issue is this sequel for this huge box office franchise hit wants to start on the same day. What do we do about that? Right? We get a Paul Haggis appearance. I thought the brainstorming session was perfect because that's how random Hollywood is. You can literally just have a random moment where you have an Academy Award-winning director pull up to an actor's crib. You got random-ass Saigon and his cousin there, and you just drinking and smoking bud trying to figure out how to fix this problem. He actually came up with a great idea. This is another one of those moments I wrote down for Johnny Drama, which was wild. When they were talking about, yeah, you need him to be fat, and then you need him to be skinny, right? Well, why don't you shoot the scenes now for your 65 days, and then we can shoot the rest of it after he packs on the pasta. And then they started saying like De Niro and Raging Bull, blah, blah, blah. And then Johnny Drama out of nowhere says, or like Johnny Drama, when I played that bulimic pedophile in the commish, the fact
putting himself in that was crazy. Like that's what makes his character so fucking great, bro. And he do it straight faced. It don't like, man, it's hilarious, bro.
The fact that he inserted his name in there like them legends, and then you bragging about playing a bulimic pedophile, bro. Like, stop talking to me. Like, stop talking to me. What are we doing, man? What are we
so serious about? Too, man?
I love the meeting when when Ian Vince went to Ari's office. Like, hey man, like I can't believe Cameron even wants to do this shit so soon. And he's like, man, Cameron ain't signed on for it. Who's directed? Michael Bay. They just throwing this thing out there. That's what movies do. That's what studios do. Who's writing it? Kevin Smith. When that nigga Vince said, fuck you, Ari. He's like, hey man, stop fucking playing with me. Get me off this movie. Get me off this movie, man. Y'all bullshit. So I gotta ask y'all this. Chaz, I know your answer because you've been saying this for years. If you're E, are you pushing Vince to do Aquaman 2? Spike, we'll start with you.
Yes. This is the biggest payday of your career. 10 million, right? Till he made the ridiculous 20 million request. Mm-hmm. Biggest payday of your career, not to mention all the doors that are going to open up once you do this. I don't really care if you don't. It don't matter if you don't want to do it or not, bro. You're an actor. Act like you like it. So, like, I'm pushing him to do it. I take his answers, whatever he wanted to do, but my sale would be for him to do it.
My thing is Hollywood is a business. I can't remember if it's this season or maybe a future season where it might have been last season. Yeah, it was season 2 when he was trying to get off the original Aquaman because of Mandy Moore. And Ari told him, like, if you call, it's over for you in this town, bro. Like, if you make that call, it's over. No studio will ever want to tell you finicky. Like, these are hundreds of $1 million budgets. No studio is going to put their budget behind somebody with that numbers at risk. Like, if we can't get no return on investment, what are we doing? We're not just throwing away $100 million. It's not going down like that. So that shit's wild. Chaz, what you think? I know your answer, but you can go ahead and share it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to push him to do it, but I was not mad when he raised his skull. Because honestly, I would have pushed him in the other episode to go to that fucking
breakfast.
To the breakfast. You absolutely need to go to the breakfast.
Yeah, but you know your mans. You know your mans ain't going. Like, you can push them as much as you want to.
No. You need to get up. If, like I said, if this is me and you, and you like, I ain't going. You need to get your ass up, and you need to go to this meeting because we gotta make sure we lock this in. Because once we lock this in, we can do another project. I'm
going to the meeting with a black eye, and so are you, because we fighting. Ain't no I'm not just going. I'm not just going, bro. I'm not going. Fuck Alan.
Hey, and that's my job as your manager is to get you the fuck there. And I understand fuck Alan, because on some real shit, I'm like fuck Alan too. Because when he pulled that shit, and that was some nasty work right there. When he said, but he basically, you know what I'm saying, he was like, we're gonna do this, but you pulled the rug from under when they came with the offer for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got it for you. They got exactly what you wanted to do. We made the compromise and the concessions for you, and you want that? Yeah, no, 20 million is what I want. And you know what I'm saying? So I understood it completely.
All three of us are the same way. I know us well enough to know that. Like, say what you mean the first time, bro. Like, if you don't want me to do it, tell me up front that, hey, tell me in that meeting with Dana, when you give me the $1 million check, hey man, listen, we just had the biggest movie opening of all time. I have a franchise to protect. If the second one does well, there's going to be a third one. I can't have you on every screen doing coke and blowing up people and shooting people and none of that, bro. I'm sorry. I know you want to do this movie. It's not a good look for the studio. Have that conversation with him. And then you can go from there. But don't tell me that you're going to give me something, and then I go out there and get it because you think it's impossible. Yeah. And then you take it back. Like, yeah, man, it's impossible to you. Like, that was a bitch move, bro. And I feel Vince like, bro, give me 20 mil then if that's what we're doing. If that's what we're doing, we're going to give me 20 mil.
And that's a bad argument, too. We didn't know this now, but as we see later, like, Vince got on the fat costume. It don't even really resemble, like, of course, it's going to be Vinny Chase playing it. But to kids, like, first of all, they're not going to see Pablo Escobar probably, and he looks totally different. I think it's excusable because he's not going to look like Vincent Chase in the movie.
Yeah, and I think it's wild. I think it's a wild ass ask for Alan to do that. I think it was crazy with the way that episode ended. With that, just
shit, that's another wild vet too.
Yeah, the Greek, not the Greek, but Vondas.
Vondas.
Yeah. But yeah, just another great ending of an episode where we get this bombshell of, okay, Vince got it done. We got the movie. Alan out of nowhere tells him, I can't let you do it. Vince asked for the 20 million. You get the Jimi Hendrix playing in the background as the episode closes. Just a classic episode. That's my number 3. Chaz, what's your number 3 for part A?
We're in agreement. Crash and Burn is my number 3.
Got you. Anything
else? All the reasons you said. For all the reasons you said, the things that we chimed in on, I just feel like Alan was that whole situation with Alan that was complete nasty work. And if honestly, if had that been me, I might have fucked up my career over that shit. I ain't even gonna lie, like because we really might have been fighting in that damn restaurant. That's how mad I would have been for him to tell me, like, when I'm telling you, but there should have been some kind of resolution at that point. Like, all right, well, if that's how you feel, then this is what I want to do this movie, and I want the assurance that this is the next movie that I do, and it's right after we finish this period. I want that in writing. You know what I'm saying? I would have had.
Go ahead.
No, I would have had to get some kind of assurances, something in writing, something, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know what you did, you pulled some nasty shit, bro. At the end of the day, you really pulled some nasty shit, and it's like, if you want to continue this relationship, now the 20 million was a bit much. I probably would have, said 15, but I do understand running up the skull. You know what I'm saying? I do understand that. Yeah,
you could have just kept it a book. Could have just kept it a bug with me. We could have worked it out from there. Here's the crazy part. They got it resolved. Vince just didn't go to the breakfast. That's what's crazy. If Vince goes to the breakfast, we ain't even had this conversation. He in Aquaman 2.
He said he wasn't going, though, didn't he? Didn't he say he wasn't going?
He told Ari, bro, like he told Ari, I don't even want the extra money, bro. I want the 7 or whatever, the 10 that we agreed upon, because I don't want to be indebted to somebody like him. Yeah, I don't want to be. Shout out to Michael Lee from The Wire, man. That ain't me. That owing niggas for shit. That ain't me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he definitely got his principles and shit like that. But Chaz, I'm with you on that one, bro. My nigga, if you say you're gonna do it, just do this last thing. The last thing you ever have to do for this nigga is show up to a breakfast. You ain't even got to eat. Get a water. That's shake his hand, and bounce.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But
Alan the type, like, you a bitch too, Alan, for being that mad because he didn't come. That ego that you got with, he's not gonna show up, man. Shut up, nigga. No, he ain't showing up. You seen Vince, nigga? You probably knee deep in some right now. He ain't got time to meet with you.
Yeah, bro. If somebody played you like you played him, would you show up to breakfast?
Facts.
Like, come on, man. Stop playing. Spike, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Strange Days. This is after Eric finds himself falling for the wrong girl. What I really liked about this episode was Ari getting that deal done and, going to look. I laughed out loud. And my man Adam Davies rolled by. Ari hit the dirt and took his wife down with him too. And then when he get up, he was still sitting there. That was hilarious. That was a really good scene. But I fucked with Strange Days as far as my number. Was it 4?
That's number 3.
Number 3. Excuse me. Yeah, number 3. John.
Okay, then got you. So my number 2 You've alluded to it. You both have discussed it. One Day in the Valley, one of the most important episodes of Entourage. One of my favorite episodes of Entourage. Spike, you mentioned it a little bit, or it might have been Chaz that mentioned this. My apologies. But just seeing Vince in his element, right? It's almost like that childlike joy. Like, why do we do this to begin with? Why do we even start this business? It's to, like, I remember when we were these kids, and as adults, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, doesn't matter what you do for a living. If you've grown up and you do enough living, you have those moments where you're like, man, I remember when days was this simple. You do it all the time. Nostalgia is a scary motherfucker. You know what I mean? And you think about them times you was in high school, your early 20s, and just like, man, life was just so much simple. I ain't had no bread. I ain't had no resources.
Thought it was hard, though. You thought it was hard, but it was way simpler than, nigga.
It was so much simple, man. It's just so much stuff you can't get back. It's also important for somebody like Vince because we talked about in season 1 and 2, Vince is on the rise right now. This makes him a bona fide A-lister. He's in a different bracket. He's in a different range now, like right now. Like Ari came and said, you got the biggest movie star on the planet on your roof right now. Like, so that's a big thing. They're chasing Spider-Man, which everybody remembers when Spider-Man, well, not everybody, but if you was around when Spider-Man dropped, that shit shut everything down, broke all types of records. Stars going to movie theaters, I always thought that was cool. I always said if I was a movie star, you would catch me doing a little costume in a movie theater on opening night, trying to lay low, you know, maybe get some of the fan interaction. It probably would be annoying after a while once you reach a certain level of stardom. But I do think that was pretty cool that they was able to be in there with them.
Will Smith did that with Bad Boy.
Yeah, he did that with Bad Boys. I saw that. Absolutely, man. And that's great. That's just cool. Like, just no security, no extra shit. Like, I just came out the movie theater and Will Smith just chilling. Like, it's something about just seeing celebrities, because once you see them, and I've seen and met enough celebrities in my life, and I'm not a fan type of nigga anyway, but they just regular people, and that's how I've always treated them. And I think something about when you see people up close, I'm like, just a regular nigga. Like, dap them up, say what's up, and keep it moving. Like, I ain't. Like, some people think they about to get like somebody's like a celebrity's number and shit and be friends. Yeah, or be friends. Like, hey, can we text sometimes? Or not, nigga, get the fuck out of here, bro. What are you talking about? But yeah, Almost Famous house party. Shout out to Vince for using his power for good. You know, you got the two dudes that you know like getting bullied and picked on. Like, I would have been on the same shit. Like, oh shit, you want us out your party? My bad. I'm with them. But if you want me out, I'll leave. Like, oh nah, you can stay. Yeah, got my niggas some play. Gave him the Maserati. Hey, listen, getting the Maserati in high school.
Just drop it back off at the shop. Yeah, just drop it back off.
The lease is up in August. Just drop it back off. Come on,
that level of man. Listen, man.
I'd have had 3 babies coming at the same time. I'd have got every chick pregnant. You let me get the Maserati in high school. Man. Yeah, you got to be crazy, man. Because you know that, and I know both of y'all are T.I. fans. Born on was it Paper Trail? I can't remember which album it was of T.I.'s, but T.I. got a song with Andre 3000 called Sorry.
Yeah, that was after Paper Trail. The one
after Paper Trail. Yeah. I can't remember the name of the song.
Heavy lays the crown or something like that.
Yeah.
Either way, that's the album. But Andre 3000 got a verse on there, at the end of that song, Sorry, and one of his lines was, "I learned that apartment's way more exciting than a big ass house on the hill." And that's what this episode was to me. Like, Andre was pretty much talking about, listen, you want all this glitz and glamour, and then when you get it, you realize your life that you had before is really that's where it's at. And that's kind of what this episode was for me. Like, it was like, hey, man, and we've seen Vince say this before, like, I appreciate all the toys, but I don't need them. Like, I came from nothing. Like, all this shit is just a bonus. And just seeing him in this element, thinking that, like, the blackouts ruined everything, him on top of that roof, drunk with these kids. Now, that's the question I really want to ask y'all. Are y'all pulling up to this party?
Yeah, I'd do this if I were Vince.
On some celebrity. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? The fine line in society. You can do this if you're a celebrity. If you're a regular nigga and you show up to a high school party,
nigga at the party,
you a creep.
You a weirdo.
You are a weirdo.
You're a turtle.
Hey, going to a high school party in your 30s is crazy. But again, if you're Vince and you blessing the people, it's different. So yeah, if I was blessing the people,
yeah. And Chaz, to your point, you was about to say, man, that when Turtle was talking to that girl, and he found out she wasn't a kid. He was like, oh, and she was like, oh, that was a real big return. Like, damn. But that's my number 2, man. That's my number 2 for Part A. I just thought it was a classic episode, and Vince officially becomes the biggest movie star in the world. Chaz, what's your number 2?
I gotta go with What About Bob?
Hold the fuck up. That means you got a big episode missing. But we'll talk about it. There's two. I gotta see who your number 1 is, because if you left my number 1, you might have left off your list completely, and that's wild. But go ahead.
I might have. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but what about Bob? Go ahead.
Wait a minute. No. Oh shoot. No.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Yeah,
I'm sorry. It's not What About Bob. What About Bob was one of my honorable mentions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to say you bugged.
It's Vegas Baby. Vegas is my number 2.
Okay.
Now, once again, nobody says no to Vegas. You got Ari sweating bullets and shit. This motherfucker's losing his money. He's losing his fucking mind. You got your Vince just cool as a cucumber, the whole situation. You got my man Seth Green, which just seeing Seth and his whole entourage is just hilarious to me. The fact that he keeps saying, like, hey, tell Sloan, I say, what's up? Like, I would have had to call my girl too. Like, hey, did you mess with this?
I'm gonna call her right now, nigga. You know what? You said what's up? Okay, let me get her on the phone.
Yeah,
let me do this.
Now, if she say it's nothing, yeah, hey, listen, I'm not even gonna but I love how Drama stole on dude. He was like, no, dude, we got a problem here. Drama said, I do. Like, it came out of nowhere. I do. I've been that nigga before. where my homeboy was like, you know what I'm saying, in the midst of arguing and stuff like that. And he was like, man, hold this. I'm about to crash it. Nah, don't worry about it. And I hit him, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, like, no, we got to get it cracking. Fuck it. So I've been there. So I understood that. It was a fun time. Plus, like, if you ever got into like any kind of game fights and shit like that, they're always fun situations, provided that you come out on top.
Hey, that's a wild thing to say, but I read that is true.
Hey, that's a wild.
It is true. It's a true wild statement. You'll never forget.
You'll never forget that shit. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm thinking, Chaz. You know what I'm thinking about, Chaz. You know infamous time I'm thinking about.
Yeah. We closed the club down in Nashville one time. Like it never opened again. It was like we ain't doing this shit for you niggas again. Like the whole club's closed. Pool tables, pool sticks.
I remember one time we used to have these parties called a highlighter party up in Toledo, and I remember there was another Chaz. This is one of those Sopranos season 1 moments, right? There was another Chaz, right? So I'm up there, I'm chilling. And then somebody run up to me like, hey, man, CJ just knocked out Chaz. I'm like, what? Because CJ's cool. Like, that cool. What the fuck happened? So I end up bumping. I go looking to see what's going on. I run into Chaz. I'm like, you good, my nigga? Like, first of all, I know Chaz was offended for like, hey, man, first of all, ain't nobody just knocking me out.
Right.
Second of all, Chaz pretty much hit me with the Sopranos. Like, you think he did something to me? Like, you remember when Tony told I forget who he was talking to. You think he do something to my pussy? Like, to big pussy, my pussy? Like, you think he did something to me, Chaz? Yeah. This Chaz, nigga? No, you got the wrong Chaz. The other Chaz, nigga. I'm like, oh, that makes sense now. That makes sense now. But yeah, man, classic shit, man. That Vegas, baby, Vegas, man. Classic episode. Hey, listen, one of the coldest lines. This is a goal of life. This is a goal of mine in life. Vince said the most smoothest shit ever in this episode. He looked at Ari, told Ari to go ahead and take over the tables. He said, hey, don't go too crazy. I'm not trying to lose more than $500,000 this weekend. I want to get to the point in life where I can just say I can lose 500 and it ain't nothing. Like, if I lose that, it's cool. I just don't want to go above 500. But yeah, if we blow 500, it's cool. Don't worry about it. Like, this is one of the smoothest lines ever. What's your number 2, Spike?
My number 2 is Vegas, baby, Vegas as well. Really, Seth, really good performance in this episode, man. Like, this is one of the most memorable moments from the whole season. From the whole series, in my opinion. And the drama storyline. Like this was perfect for drama, bro. I was crying. Like the nigga said, I never done nothing with a man.
He said, but with the adoration you poured on me today, if this is something you need, then fuck it. He said, fuck it. It is Vegas. And what's crazy about what's crazy about that drama storyline is that drama he was completely oblivious to what was going on. That's what made
drama so good. Mm-hmm. He was like, oh, it's closed. Let's just go back up to my room.
Man, like,
what
bro,
is you doing, bro?
It's like he the only one that ain't in on the joke. Like everybody
drama
else knows what's
in
going
his
on.
own world, bro, and I love that. Like he be in La La Land. Like I just love how they built this up, man. They got to it. It was funny, and how pissed off he was to go then start the fight with Seth people because he was so pissed off. Like now I ain't even gonna get my massages no more. This motherfucker think I'm gay. Like that was great, man. Bro. So Vegas,
I don't want anybody hide them for the weekend. I don't want anybody. I don't want you touching anybody. I don't want these hands touching anybody but me. Like all types of shit. He brought this nigga some almonds. Like all types of shit, bro.
That nigga remembered all of his NFL stats. Nigga played one game. He remembered all the stats, bro. Oh,
he was breaking that shit. He was breaking that shit down by quarters.
Man,
nigga went to U of A. All that, man. Listen, that whole storyline was crazy. It can only work for a character like Johnny Drama. We can go ahead and just talk about it. That's my number one episode of the season.
Oh shit,
Vegas,
man.
baby, Vegas. That's my number one. The main thing is we talked about it a little bit. First of all, I forget what we were talking about, Spike, but I know we talked about this on a recording somewhere. For all y'all who don't play cards, if you ever do what that nigga did at the blackjack table and split those kings, I guarantee you there will be some physical violence that takes place. If that shit goes bad, I told the story. I was in Detroit at the MGM Grand and seen a nigga, like, if it wasn't for police and security, nigga was about to get his head cracked open for fucking up on the blackjack table.
Yep.
Like, you do not play around, man. People take that shit very, very seriously. Also,
it was on another week in the books we was talking about.
Okay, then got you. Also, the continuous here, the Seth Green asking once is one thing. Every time I see you, hey, did you tell Sloan? Did you tell Sloan I said what up? Yeah, I told her what's up. What she say? She said what up back. Oh, really? Well, tell her I said what's up back too.
I said what's up again.
Bro,
nah,
stop playing with me, bro. Like, nah, man, we're not doing none of that. Like, we're not doing none of that. None of it.
Call her because I would have dragged his ass. Like first instant, like, nah, I'm gonna drag this nigga.
I'm not even. Y'all better than me. I'm not even calling her because I don't even like what you're saying. Maybe the first time I'm like,
And that's what I'm saying. The first time I'm calling.
And he trolling him the whole time. Like every time he said, hey, it's the We Don't Drink Jaeger crew. Hey, Vinny chasing the Chasers. Like, y'all, hey man, you trying to be funny, bro. You trying to, I don't like that shit, bro.
And your mans and them got these weird looks on their faces too, like y'all want some problems. Like, nah, man, we not.
And he repeating after you, like, come on, E, ain't nothing, make the call. And his boy, like, yeah, E, make the call. Like, hey, bro, shut the fuck up. Your whole crew will get slapped up.
Who is y'all niggas talking to?
Up, bro. He said, "Yeah, I stopped drinking."
It couldn't have been handled any other way. You had to put hands.
Nah, yeah, you got a string on them. Yeah, we finna stop playing with y'all. Y'all not finna be walking around thinking the child is superior crew, nigga. We finna put work in.
Yeah, and they flipped. Hey, listen, they flipped them niggas around, bro.
They did.
Drama came in, set the tone.
Work.
Drama came in, set the tone. Turtle flipping niggas over the couch. Like, it is what it is. And one thing I talked about this last season. One thing I love about Turtle always ready. But he usually try to keep his dudes calm, right? When Drama was going off on dude with the golf club and beating his car with it, he was like, Drama, chill. And then the dude said something, and Turtle was like, all right, man, fuck you. You got to do what you got to do. Same thing here. When Seth Green said something about busting on Sloan's face like a Jackson Pollock, that nigga Turtle was like, all right, man, I guess we're getting busy. Because I get it. I get it. I guess we're getting busy. I tried to hold this nigga back, man. You wanted to smoke, so now you got the smoke. So that's my number one of part A. Chaz, what's your number one for part A? I know it's probably got to be Sorry, Ari.
You already know it's Sorry, Ari. You know what I'm saying? Even though I still once again had E not tried to go behind, had he not tried to go behind Ari. After Ari, he asked Ari, like, yo, did you call Bob? And Ari said, yeah. He should have just left it at that. Because Ari had already told him, yeah, I'm gonna call him. Don't worry. Whether he calls him or not, it's not like Ari needed Bob for anything. Like we can work out Bob's arrangements and stuff. You just spent hours and hours the other day with Bob, letting him talk your fucking ear off for no fucking reason. And you know what I'm saying? You lucked up on the motherfucking project. Because he you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you lucked up on this shit. And then you want to bring this motherfucker in. You know how he sucks the air out of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then Ari said something about, you know what I'm saying, dude tried to pull a quarter out the studio head's ear. Like, as a magic
Bob
trick in the fucking
Bob was in there wilding.
Bruh, what the fuck is you talking, man? Bruh, and I'm looking at E. I said, man, I would have sent both these motherfuckers home. Like, I don't need neither one of you motherfuckers around.
Let me do my
I'll
job.
speak for him. Yeah, I'll speak for them. Y'all motherfuckers, y'all chill out. Y'all let me handle this shit. I'll sell the shit and then I'll come back and I'll give you the good news. That's what the fuck really should have happened. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Like, the fact that they didn't
That's
do
a
it
great
that
point.
way, yeah, I
Did
guess
Ari,
that's the only thing. Go ahead.
Did Ari deserve to get fired?
I'm gonna say no, but
He needed a talking to.
he definitely needed a talking to. I don't necessarily know that. I don't think that he actually needed to be fired. I think that they definitely need to have a conversation. But I also would have, in that conversation, I would have had to tell Vince flat the fuck out, you need more than one manager. Because he can handle your personal affairs and some of your shit, but some of this shit, he's out of his league. And he needed, and I don't remember them ever having that conversation, Vince and Ari truly having that conversation, but it needed to happen. Like, at the moment you started to feel like you were actually part of the crew and a friend, you need to have that conversation with your client. Like,
That's
seriously.
before I kick it to Spike, that's the key point, Chaz. Like, he's always had that conversation with E plenty of times. Vince is the one he should have had that conversation with. Like,
Yeah.
I'm taking you to dinner, Vince. We need to talk about your future because I'm not trying to even shit on your boy. But this is just a bigger thing. This is just too big for him. Like, you the number one movie star in the world. Like, your Will Smith, your Brad Pitt, these niggas got teams. They got teams of people. Like, remember Mandy Moore? Remember Mandy Moore when we first met Babs? She had like 5 different agents, 3 different managers. Like, nigga, like, once you reach a certain level, bro, it might be a little bit too big for you, especially when you was asking niggas pepperoni or cheese 18 months ago. You know what I mean? Like, that shit wild. Like, when you think about it, when you say it like that shit wild. Spike, what's your number one episode for part A?
My number one episode is What About Bob, man. I really enjoyed the not cameo. What's my man name? The old dude. Is it Bob?
Actually played some? No, it's not Bob Ryan. It's
Bob Ryan. I'll go with Bob Ryan. I enjoyed him, man. It was good. In the sales world, people use that line all the time, being funny. What would you think if I told you, or whatever it was that he was saying? But I just enjoyed how they stumbled across it, how he felt like he was wasting his time, how Ari pinned him off on it, the whole introduction with Lloyd in the beginning. All of it was dope. And you could see that Bob used to be the man. You could tell that he used to be the man. He had the old Rolls Royces and shit. So I really enjoyed that episode and the introduction to Bob.
Yeah,
Martin Landau. That's definitely one of my favorite ones.
For sure. It was hard to keep it off. It was hard to keep it off the list. Martin Landau, but that just goes to show how strong the season is. That's one of my favorite just to throw on. I'll just throw on the Bob Ryan episode. So, all right, we finished part A. We got our number ones that are going to the finale. I have Vegas, Baby Vegas. Chaz has Sorry Ari. Spike, you have What About Bob? We're going to go ahead and roll this into part B. My number 5, Return of the King. This was difficult, man.
Damn, that's low for that.
It is. It's difficult. I had different reasons for different things, but the Return of the King, it's a unique episode because it's Yom Kippur and they're trying to get this Medellin deal done. Ari's still not Vince's agent at this point. Amanda is. They're trying to work out the details. Yom Kippur is the most religious day in Hollywood. Jewish holiday. No business can be spoken. And you have Nick Rubenstein, and Ari trying to make this deal work for Vince. Obviously, Ari wants his client back. He's trying to get Amanda out the way. And you also have Vince and Amanda, like full on, lovers at this point, which is mixing business with pleasure is kind of crazy, especially for something like that. There's a Bogota movie that Amanda's trying to get them to do, but she ain't with it. And the whole back and forth between Ari's wife, his daughter, everybody trying to make sure that you guys are following, you're being good, following the religious protocol. Yeah, Jewish people or following Judaism. I don't know what the correct term to say is, but either way, they're not abandoning any of that. They're abandoning all of that. He got the bat phone with them, the whole nine. I just thought it was a great episode. It was just interesting to see them do work even without technology. And obviously the fellas, they just out there at the horses, having a good time trying to get Medellin back. So definitely a unique episode, the way it was shot and the way that it was told. But it is my number 5, which is crazy because I love this episode. I can't believe it's number 5. But when I looked at it from this list perspective, I had to put it there. Chaz, what you got at number 5?
I got Manic Monday.
Okay.
I love the fact that that Ari was having to go to therapy, didn't know what the fuck was going on. His whole story arc, like he couldn't understand why he was so broken up over the loss of Vince. Couldn't fire somebody, and Ari seems like the kind of guy that would just love to fire people. Like it would just make him know, like like a pig in slop. You know what I'm saying?
His day gets better when he gets to fire someone.
Right. You just kind of seem like he kind of seems like he would be that kind of person. So just seeing what he was going to and like his whole him having to break down the office with Babs that's trying to talk to him, and she asked him, "Is he crying?" He's no, get the fuck out of here. No, seriously, get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here, Bob.
Then turns around, it's like, Lloyd, get her on the phone. Get the therapist lady on the phone. And then you also get this is the episode where you get the Amanda who she was a little sexy little thing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, a little bit. I'm taking a big sexy. I'm taking her down.
Yeah.
They rolled us into it too. Like you really don't pay attention to it till you see her walking around in her drawers with the leopard panty. You're like, oh, okay, real quick. I said, oh, they snuck up on us with that one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Amanda
I definitely wouldn't have turned it down.
Amanda wasn't nothing to play with, man.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. That's my number 5.
What was I about to say real quick about that episode? I can't remember. Either way, go ahead. Spike, what's your number 5?
Dog Day Afternoon.
Got you.
I like the whole arc that Ari took as far as I don't give a fuck. I'm still Ari Gold. I'm gonna pimp Lloyd out if this dude wants to be, whatever he's trying to do with Lloyd, and then him having that whole change of heart at the end of it, showing that something was going on with Ari because he usually wouldn't have done that. Also, the whole thing with E and him and Vince including himself on a 3-day weekend or whatever it was, romantic getaway with Sloan, and Sloan kind of challenging him like, nigga, you can't go nowhere without Vince. And then how it ended as far as her acting like she was mad, but she slick got what she wanted. I couldn't tell if that was a play at dinner of her getting mad at that, and that's what she wanted to do, or if she was genuinely mad. So I thought they did a good job with that. But Dog Day Afternoon is definitely my pick.
I think she was salty. She wanted him to believe that she was more salty than what she was. But I do think she was salty just in the sense of like, my nigga, don't put me in your lies. Like the fact that you're grown ass, somebody you've known since you were 5, 6 years old, the fact that you can't tell them, hey, I'm going to take this weekend to be with my girlfriend. Like, I'll catch you when I get back. Yeah, man, you had to keep making up these lies. And for real, like if I was slowing out, I'd have been on the same shit. Like, what kind of person you telling these people I am? Like, I got these rules. I don't like traveling with people. Vince was even like, damn, I didn't even know Sloan was that stuck up. She ain't. This nigga lying.
Like, he stuck up. Either one stuck up, exactly.
But why did you feel you had to lie to your this is your boy, your brother? Why did you feel you had to lie to him? If nothing else, that's the nigga you should be keeping it funky with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's your man's that you talking about he's sensitive. Like it would be nothing to tell my, hey, me and my girl going out of town this weekend. Can I go? No. That's how the conversation is gonna go.
It's a quick conversation.
Very quick. We ain't even gonna do this. Like, nah,
it's not even no follow up.
Yeah, it's me and her.
And that just goes to show. That goes to show the codependency between the both of them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's pointed out by everybody.
Yeah.
Amanda says it this season, like, you boys have a very strange relationship.
Yeah, they very much do. Like,
yeah, that's wild. That the fact that E couldn't tell his friend that I don't want to go on this trip. Like, bruh. And Vince even told him, like, nah, I ain't salty, bro. Like, nigga, I got bread. Like, me, Turtle and Drama, we'll go to Mexico right now. Like, what are you talking about?
Go wherever you want, bro. We leaving too.
Vincent Chase, nigga. I go to a bookstore and get pussy. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are we doing? My number 4 is going to be Adios Amigos. Probably a little lower than what a lot of people might have on their list, but it's the finale of the season. Nick Rubenstein turns 35. He gets that trust fund money. He's willing to pay the $30 million for them to make this movie. Billy Walsh is back in the picture. Should I say Wally is back in the picture? 25 picture
Wally
porn
Balls.
deal. Yeah, Wally Balls. 25 picture porn deal. Obviously, you know, he reads the script. Him and E get into it. This is one of the first times you see him and E. Season 4, some of the E Billy Walsh arguments in season 4, especially when we get to episodes like the Dream Team episode, man, like classic shit. Just the whole setup of actually them getting into Medellin. Like, we know, okay, then they finally got this movie. Now what? They gonna make it themselves? Okay, cool. Like, previous episode, we saw Vince and what he had to do to actually get the money to do it. But things are in motion now. I thought it was a great way to end the season and set us up for season 4. We've been talking about Medellin since the opening, literally the opening episode of season 2. And now we're here. Pablo Escobar's story is a big deal. That's my number 4. Spike, what's your number 4 for part B?
My number 4 for part B.
I'm sorry. I skipped Chad. It's supposed to be Chaz.
Yeah.
Chaz, what's your number 4?
My number 4 would be Return of the King.
Okay.
For all the reasons that you mentioned, just seeing how these guys are really scrambling to get, like, hey, bro, if nothing else, Ari was proving, like, hey, bro, I'm here for you. I'm gonna do everything I possibly can to get this movie for you. And I love the scrambling and going back and forth between everything. And it just, you know what I'm saying, it was one of those things. It's like, bro, it couldn't be helped. It's just, hey, listen, we ran out of time. We ran out of time in the day. You know what I'm saying? But I love the dynamic. I loved seeing the Nikki character that first time, you know what I'm saying, seeing him and Ari's and dynamic together. You know what I'm saying? Both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to be these devout Jews. You have to, you know, this is like the most important, one of the most important holidays of the year. And y'all still trying to you know what I'm saying, trying to conduct business. And it's like, it just goes to show that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people involved really wanted to make that movie. So I did love that. That was so.
I also forgot to mention just the ending of that episode when Vince and Amanda break up, and Amanda pretty much letting them know this is what really happened. This is why you ain't get the movie, bro. Like, all in all, this movie's cursed. which we know what ends up happening. They should have just let the bro. Everybody that touched this movie said this shit is cursed. Like it's too much. It's too difficult. We're gonna cut our losses. And they was just determined, man. They was just determined to get that shit done. We'll talk about that more in season 4. Spike Lou, what is your episode 4?
My episode 4 is Gotcha. The whole thing playing out with Pauly Shore and the Chuck Liddell thing, and him making drama get on his knees at the boxing ring. All of that was hilarious. And it basically this, and Ari is getting jealous of my man at the house. I mean, it was on line for Ari and his character, but I didn't like it. This is one of the few times I didn't like Ari and how he was like his man's getting it, and he don't like that he ain't the big dog in the room no more. I ain't like that, but it did play well for TV. So, Gotcha is the one for me. For them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I hated that Ari was acting like that. His wife even called him out on it. Like, bro, like you like it when people are miserable, and you can be the man. Like when they up, like you know what I mean. It's hard for you to kind of fit in because you don't understand.
Now you feel threatened.
Exactly. You trying to he been your little man's your whole life, and now that he up, you know, it's a little bit different. Obviously, E puts together real quick that Vince and Amanda fucked, which he should have put together as soon as he signed up. As soon as she signed up to be his agent, he should have known. Like, oh, he hitting that.
He gonna fuck her.
I
think he probably thought that she was more professional than that. I don't think that he thought that she would have let Vince. Of course, he know Vince can get it off, but I think that he thought that she was a lot more professional than that. Then when he seen that shit play out in real time, he was like, "Oh, that nigga bagged her too." Should have known. That's how. You know what I'm saying.
That's why the episode before when it ended, like when remember when he got the call, he left. Remember, Drama turned around and said $50 says he bangs her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, $50 says he bangs her, bro. I know my brother, man. That nigga about to hit her.
Been doing this nigga his whole life. He's definitely gonna fuck her.
No ifs, ands, or buts. So they find that stuff out. Obviously, the perfect drama. If there's an episode, a Mount Rushmore of drama episodes just to describe who that character is, this is one of them. Like fuck Pauly Shore, then you want to find out, but he wants you for a pilot of this new like it's like a fake punked. Like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it. And then he's sitting there thinking the whole time, this must be the gag. Like Chuck Liddell, man. Chuck Liddell, go fuck yourself. Tell Chuck Liddell to go fuck himself.
Wow, not on Chuck Liddell, bro. That was crazy.
And then the realization. And then the realization of like, the Girl Scouts come up. Oh shit, this was the guy. It was just clever and perfect. Like Turtle knew, like he's gonna fall for this. Like have a fake one for the real one.
The fact that they knew that Drama would be thinking like that and push the line with Chuck Liddell was the genius of it. Like what you just said, that was genius to think. Like, come on, man, it's Chuck Liddell. Like anybody would back down, but Johnny fucking Drama.
And that's the beauty of the show. I know these are my people. This is my family. I know him well enough to know. I promise you, this is gonna go, Paulie. Like I promise you, he gonna say no because it's you. Then he gonna find out it's a pilot. He gonna say yeah. So we gotta he gonna know what's going on. So we gotta put the okie doke on it.
Facts.
You about to say something else? My bad, Spike.
I was just gonna say, and to your point, to know him well enough to walk through all those phases, like to pull the fake one out, and I'm gonna tell him about it. I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen, and you still gonna fall for it. That's how well I know you.
Ain't that a shitty predicament to be in? Like as a man with a huge ego, the idea of getting on my knees and apologizing is just too big for me to fathom. But on the other hand, it's Chuck Liddell. Like, do I want which is more embarrassing? Getting on my because that's one of them things like everybody gonna understand, right? Nobody in their right man. If you're not a licensed fighter, if your hands ain't registered, you're not fighting a boxer. That's why I always thought it was crazy when T.I. was trying to fight Floyd. Like, my nigga, like, what are you doing? Like, these niggas got registered hands for a reason. Like that, the image of me, I don't know what's worse, the image of me being on my knees apologizing to Chuck Liddell, or Chuck Liddell hit me with a right and knocking my ass out,
knocking me out.
Either way, it's shitty. It's a shitty situation either way.
Facts.
I don't know if I said it, but Gotcha is my number 3. That is my number 3 for everything I just said. Yeah, that's perfect Johnny Drama episode. Perfect, without question. Gotcha's my number 3. Chaz, what's your number 3 for part B?
My number 3 is Gotcha as well.
Okay.
For everything that y'all both alluded to, plus You know, just I just love the fact that, you know, his man set him up. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that he would fall for the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know, sometimes you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta, you know what I'm saying, pull jokes on your niggas, man, every once in a while. But drama is crazy because prank or no prank, I ain't talking crazy to Chuck Liddell. There's a couple cats I ain't really talking crazy to. Like, you know,
You
if I know you,
got
because listen, on some real shit, you gotta think of it like this. I know that they supposed to have like these license, you know what I'm saying, you know, their hands are you like licensed as weapons and stuff. But if you get punched in the face for a living, and you get punched and kicked in the face for a living, you're not wound too tight. You know what I'm saying? Like you're nuts. Like that's not a logical profession to take up. There's you know what I'm saying? There's already something wrong with you. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that you want to punch people in the face on, you know what I'm saying, to get paid for it, and B, you want to get punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you that for a show that you made, he like, but so what if he wasn't like that was my whole thing. Like, I think of it from this standpoint, like, what if he wasn't trying to punk you, like, or get you on that gotcha show, and you talking crazy to this motherfucker? What if he really just would have beat your ass? Then you know what I'm saying?
And the nigga found where you live at. Nigga called your phone.
Nigga stopped. He stopped the middle of his exhibition, saw you in the crowd, and stopped his shit. Like, oh shit, nah, you get your ass in this ring, bro. I'm about to fuck you up. You saw all that cash shit earlier.
So my cousin was telling me a story about how he and a couple of his homeboys, they was drunk and they was trying to jump Mark Coleman, and it didn't really work out too good for him.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Yeah, no, he beat the shit out of all three of them in an alley.
Why they trying to fight him? Why was they trying to fight him?
Because they was drunk. You know,
and they knew who he was.
Probably why they tried to fight him.
That's what I was going to ask. Was they that stupid? Like, oh, this is Mark Coleman. Let's try to jump. Like, niggas, you crazy?
Yeah, they probably. That's probably
no,
why
you know, you get drunk and you talk. You get drunk and you talk a lot of shit sometimes, and you talk shit to the wrong motherfucker. You know, I've seen people, like, I've seen a couple people that had license, you know, hands and feet. You know what I'm saying?
That nigga's in fights. Hold on, man. That nigga Mark Coleman in the UFC Hall of Fame. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
What do we talk about, man?
Yeah, he beat all three of their ass.
As you would expect.
Yeah,
as you would expect, man. Classic episode. That's your number 3. Got you, right? What's your number 3, Spike?
My number 3. Damn, give me 1 second. I had it right here.
Nah, you good. I got a feeling we all gonna have the same number 1.
Yeah.
Nah, I know we not, because y'all already done said my number 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
Damn, where did I have it? Adios Amigos.
Okay.
It was Adios Amigos. The closing, the finale episode. Billy Walsh did a great job. I like the whole interaction with him and the financier, and, you know, Eve finally putting his nuts on the table, showing that I could do this, even though he did have some help from Ari, but he found a financier, he found a director, he's the producer, he got the star actor. It was a great job showing the E's ascension to where he's about to be in the next couple of seasons. Spoiler alert. So yeah.
Absolutely. My number 2 has already been discussed. Manic Monday. That's my number 2. I love what you talked about as far as just Ari trying to figure out what's wrong with him, why he can't fire people, why he has to have that emergency therapy session. Then he finally gets it back. And then when I just want to highlight when he goes in and fires Rob Rubino. First of all, let me tell you something. I'm running a $1 million company, potentially $1 billion company, right? Let me go in my conference room, all right? The conference room, not your office, not some common area, not the bathroom, you know, not in the regular hallway. You in the whole, you in the main conference room where the A-listers come up. and y'all motherfuckers trying to see if you can guess the letter on the board. I'm on the same shit Ari was on. Oh, good job. Yeah, if you can't read this, like, what do you say? In case your ears are fucked, get the fuck out.
The fuck out.
Anybody else that want to tap dance, juggle, do circus trip, any of y'all motherfuckers want to do that, you can go out with them. It's a one strike policy. Like, y'all got me fucked up in here, man. Like, what are y'all doing? That's some shit you do in your own desk with 2 or 3 people around and say, all right, man, yeah, I'm a little bit better. Bro, you doing this in the open with Ari? Come on, man, stop it.
Did y'all feel like, did y'all believe my man's that had the eye surgery? Did y'all feel like that he was just trying to pull to Ari's sympathies, but Ari usually not sympathetic? Or did you really believe the shit that he was saying?
I think 2 things are true. I think it's one of those moments when, like, if you playing sports, like, you hurt, but I can play. Like, yeah, I had the surgery and shit. I'm a little fucked up, but I ain't nothing wrong. You see earlier in the episode, he had his whole eyes covered, and then a few hours later, 6 hours or whatever you said, he up here reading letters and shit, joking and kikiing. Like, bruh, like, you knew, and he told Ari earlier, like, I know why I'm here. Like, you knew you was about to get fired, bro. You use that shit to your advantage. Fuck you, man. Get out of my office. Stop playing with me. But yeah, that's my number 2.
I might have fired a couple other people that was playing the games with him.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Slick about to put all of them out. All y'all can look for these jobs. I ain't gonna hold it. Because y'all thought it was cool. Y'all thought it was cool enough for a motherfucker that was almost fired. Like, y'all know, I know office chatter. You worked in the corporate office before, so you know how it go. Y'all sitting in here playing with a nigga who almost lost his job earlier today, and y'all think that that's cool. Y'all got to go too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Did everybody go through their 2s?
No, I ain't did 2 yet.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. No, that was me. I started the 2s. Chaz, it's on you. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Adios Amigos.
Okay, you got the finale as well.
Yeah.
You want to expound on it, or I know we both talked. Me and Spike have already talked about it.
I mean, for everything that we, you know what I'm saying, we all talked about. I did kind of wanted to speak a little bit on the Ian Sloan thing about like, you know what I'm saying, he decided to move in with her. I don't understand why he felt the need to go
to shoot Medellin.
Yeah,
that's that weird Vincent E relationship, bro.
Yeah, I probably would have stayed. I mean, I would have went, maybe, you know what I'm saying, just to check out in a couple, like for a week or something like that. But I wouldn't have stayed the whole time. I would have, you know what I'm saying, like if I'm moving in with my lady, I'm actually enjoy this time away from Vince. You know what I'm saying, and actually be able to be away from the guys. So that's just me though.
So everything you just said, Chaz, but not even going further. I outkick my coverage tremendously. Like, I'm not, like, imagine being the one that fucked that up. Imagine you seeing Ian Sloan, you would automatically think, like, if they broke up, like, oh, Sloan cut that off. Like, nah, either one that fucked it up. But what? Stop playing with me, man.
He a weird nigga, man. He a weird dude.
Hey, man.
I still, anytime I rewatch it, still I come to the same conclusion. Like, that's a weird ass nigga right there, bro. But what you said 100%. I'll go for a month, especially like I got a girl at home and she's fine as hell. Like y'all just said, I'm leaving for 6 months. I'm going to Colombia for 6 months. Ain't nobody gonna let that shit fly, bro. Not no.
Why the fuck? Why am I
That's
going
what
to
she
Colombia?
gonna ask you. That's exactly what she gonna ask you. What the fuck is you going to Colombia for 6 months for? It's Vince movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I may go do it's really stretching it to do a month. I may go 2 weeks, get him acclimated. And then if you need me, I'll come back in another month or so. While you over there, I'm gonna go build on what I need to build on. This could be more time with Sloan,
bro. Them 2 weeks gonna be stretched out. I'm a week now, and then I'm gonna come a week later, and that's it, bro. I ain't even going 2 weeks at the same time. Like, what are we talking about?
Exactly,
bro. He lucky Sloan didn't send him a Jarhead tape. If y'all seen the movie Jarhead, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He lucky Sloan ain't giving no Jarhead tape. That nigga would have popped that shit in, and it would have been all bad, bro. Because you crazy. You crazy. I'm not leaving Sloan like that, man. Nah. Especially I just moved in with you.
And she asked you the question of basically where we at. Yeah, like, what are we doing here?
Because you got to think Sloan got it. Her shit is together. Like, I got money. I don't need Eve really for nothing. And she asking him, all right, what we finna do with this thing right here? We done played it out long enough. Like, what was it gonna turn into? Which she was rightfully asking. So, yeah, he was crazy for this.
Yeah. What's your number 2, Spike?
Manic Monday. You guys talked about it a little bit earlier. It was Manic Monday. Great Ari performance in Manic Monday. And the offer, man. Like, to get a phone call like that from Amanda, like as her being that straightforward and just calling it out. This is the only time I thought that she was in contention with Ari as far as being good at her job. Like, she really, like, she played her cards right here. She knew just what to say, what to do as far as, okay, I see where these niggas is at with it. I know what to do. Made the call to Vince, made the offer, knew he wouldn't turn that down. And it was such a great job by the show, because I wasn't really paying attention to, not saying that she's not beautiful, but I wasn't really paying attention to it until they made it an emphasis. Like, once they had her talking on the phone, walking around in the leopard drawers, then once the guys started talking about it, then once you see her, I get what they were saying when she was arguing with them, and you know how they was like, okay, yeah. You know what's attractive to us as men, and I think they did a beautiful job in rolling that out. So, really good episode.
Yep. The only other thing I'll add to that is, as men, we don't get those direct offers. The women's version of direct, it's a little bit flirty. Like, you get the assumption. Yeah, you got to put the pieces together. We rarely get the A. You, me, now. Fuck.
Hey, those calls, like, boy, they gold. Those are gold, boy. You remember all of those still to this day.
I remember every single. I remember every single one.
I can't type back yes fast enough in this text message, nigga. I ain't got those.
Yeah, no, you definitely do. You
remember.
It's quick to send that OMW. That OMW to OMW. Or come through
20 minutes out. I'm 20 minutes out.
Yeah, nigga, I'm dodging traffic. All right. We get to the number 1 episodes for part B. My number 1 episode, no question about it, for part B, Resurrection, episode 18 of the season. Drama is filming his pilot. He's got the monologue going on. Or I'm sorry, he's not filming it. It's already been filmed. It's the release date. It's the premiere date of his monologue. So he's nervous about it. He's trying to stay away from all the reviews. One dude at the Variety gives him a bad review. He pulls up on him, runs him down. Turtle's trying to get the car detailed, picks it up, crashes it because he's flirting with Kelly, Lauren London. Shout out to Lauren London.
Yeah,
I love Rufus. Rufus is one of my favorite side characters. Because Rufus is sitting there looking he saw him crash the car and said, damn, that was stupid. Turtle's trying to get him to fix it again. He's like, man, I ain't got no men. He gets the big dude eating Mickey D's. Kelly obviously helps. Turtle talks to Rufus about actually taking Kelly out. So you got that whole scenario of it. And really, this is the episode when E and Vince buy the script. I think the dude's name was Joe Roberts, that one of them that do Matterhorn. Like, you do Matterhorn and I'll do I'll make Medellin for you, that whole 9. Joe, like, man, listen, tell Vince he don't know, man. I got McScrooge. I got what's the McScrooge? The duck, whatever
Scrooge
the name
McDuck.
is. Scrooge McDuck. I got his type of bread, bro. Like, he don't want to outbid me. But he did have the respect of, you know what? Like, I've seen people like this with this type of passion. If you love it this much, I'm gonna go ahead and let you get it, man. Go ahead and buy the movie. He bought it for $5 million, sold the crib, which is wild. And most importantly, the whole drama part of it, right? This is the one thing that I think gets lost in this show. Maybe not. 90% of Hollywood is drama. It's not Vince. Like, Vince is the rare exception. There's not a ton of A-listers, right? There's not a ton of like super duper stars that'll carry your movie. And even then they come in spurts. Like you don't get too many Denzels, Brad Pitts where they last decades and decades. Like you might have somebody with a hot moment. Like Glenn Powell right now is having a moment. Glenn Powell's in everything right now. I don't know if Glenn Powell's going to be around in 5-10 years. I think he's talented enough, but I don't know if the game's going to work out for him that way. I don't know if he's going to want to do it. So it's rare to have that super duper star like Vince, but you get a million Johnny Dramas. That's what Hollywood is consisted of, right? So for somebody like him to finally get a shot and like, man, you know what? Like he was salty about that review because he was like, man, I really thought I did good on this. Like I really tried. Like I wanted this one to work out. We laugh and we joke about him talking about being on, the Hugleys and the different world and all that shit. Yeah, 90210. But man, I thought I was really about to make this shit work. I'm getting all these bad reviews. I'm out of here. Drives 8 hours in the middle of the desert, and then finally gets the phone call. Man, you got the number 1 show in the country, and just that victory, like all that shit, bro. At the end, like you just want it. Like I don't know about y'all. Like I felt myself getting a little emotional about drama. Like damn, man, I'm kind of happy for my dog. Like he really,
absolutely,
like he got that dub. Like he needed that. Like he deserved that dub.
I think
so everything
one
about
of the most relatable characters. This episode showed he's one of the most relatable characters. Like nigga can't really relate to Vince or Turtle or E really, but Drama is like one of the most relatable characters.
Bruh, and you know what? We can even discuss on this as podcasters, man, because all it really is like, bruh, all I need is a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like the right person comes up and give me the right shot, bruh, it's up. I'll take care of the rest. It's up. And there's plenty of people like that. You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of hoopers, tons of hoopers, athletes, whatever you want to call it. Like all I need is a shot. I need to invite to training camp. I just need somebody to give me a fair look, and I promise you, it's up from there. And the issue is not a lot of people get that look. So for him to get it and like crush it, like fuck what the critics talking about, the people spoke, we on it, and it just takes him in a whole different direction. Shout out to Johnny Drama, man. That's my number 1 episode. Chaz, what you got?
I ain't mad at that, man. I'm not mad at that at all. My number 1 episode though is going to be The Princess Bride.
Oh,
yeah, no,
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no, and for just because we see, so you and I'm trying to. I know Vince takes us on a very weird journey when it comes to his morality. There's the Vince that is okay with breaking up a potential marriage. Is the Vince that is okay with receiving hand jobs from the older sexy Spanish teacher. Yeah. There's the Vince that is okay with fucking a madam. You know what I'm saying? Then there's a Vince that is okay with making a porn star his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can't wait till we get to the Vince was wild and then
right. It was crazy that season.
Ooh, he was wild.
But somehow you're not okay with fucking a woman so you can get $60 million for your movie after you literally just sold everything that you own. You literally sold your fucking house and you had your man help you put all his money into it with you. And you decide that you can't get this 60 million. And then I always want to know what's that conversation like on the ride home. Like, hey, why are we leaving? Yeah, man. The prince wanted me to go ahead and knock off his wife as part of getting the 60 million. Why the fuck are you leaving with us? That conversation, like I'm Ari or E, why the fuck are you leaving with us? You should be fucking this bitch. You know, not that she's a bitch, but you know exactly what I mean. You should be going in and just knocking her off. I don't understand what the fuck the problem is.
And her husband gave you the blessing.
Yeah, like he on some cuckold shit, and then you're like, okay, fuck it, I guess. I just, to me, and then you don't take it, but then you take a finance, you get another financier who is only willing to give you 25 million,
Less than half.
So that's less than half of what you were going to get, knowing that the studio heads, that the studios were in it for 65 million. So it's like, bruh, what the fuck? And this is another thing why I'm telling hey, listen, if you're E and he's telling you this shit, you have to tell him, hey, bro, you got to take one for the team. This sounds like a very expensive one for the team, but you gotta do this for us because we need this money. We can't just go half-ass. So then you bring in Billy Walsh, right? Because you made this mistake, and bringing in Billy Walsh, he's never been on this stage. Floyd Mayweather used to always say in boxing, it's all good until you get in front of the lights. Then we're gonna see if you really about that life. The spotlight was too big for him, and they didn't know it. They didn't know it at the time. But had they went 60 million, they could have hired any director they wanted.
I was just about to say, I never even thought about it from that stance. Like, yeah, if they get to 60 mil, this movie's completely different.
Facts.
So you get a different director. You don't have to go to Billy Walsh. You're not forced to do that. All of that. That's a great point. That's a great point, man. Yeah. Princess Bride, your number one. I'm not mad at it. Yeah. Once again, I don't even understand why Vince even took E to that hotel. Like, bro, I'm handling my business and be all about it. I was just
gonna say, I'm knocking her down after the dinner. Like, we ain't even got to go through the whole $60 million spill at your crib, bro. I already done knocked her down. Y'all ought to have a check in the mail. Like, I already done took care of that, bro.
If I gotta seal the deal, this is how I gotta seal it. Then fuck it. I gotta do it because I literally sold my life for this shit.
If I'm Eve, that's my argument. If I'm Eve, bro, I took that 200,000 at the bank, bro. Like, what you doing? Right. Go up there.
You got to do this for us.
Yeah, and to the point, if I'm E, I'm not even going to the dinner at the hotel. Like, bro, go take care of that. You got it. It's cool.
You know what it is.
Like, just go take care of that, bro. I'm not going. I'm not going. Yeah. I'm putting my foot down right here as your manager. I'm not going. You go take care of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like what was that conversation like in the car?
E needs to start treating this shit like attorney-client privilege. Like, the less I know, the better, my nigga. Just get the shit done. Like, just get the shit done.
Everybody got a job. Nigga. Go do yours.
Everybody got a job.
Go do yours, man.
Do yours, nigga.
Like, as a matter of fact, you have a great fucking job, as a matter of fact. So go ahead and handle it. Spike
and
Lee,
you got the best job out of all of us, nigga. So go do it happily too, nigga.
Exactly, man. You better not be moping around here. What's your number one, Spike Lee?
Man, Return of the King, man. That was my episode right there as far as just having somebody like them showing the dedication that Ari has to this shit. The phone tucked in the waistline, negotiating the deals at Ram Kapoor, going over to the other church to talk to the other dude who ain't even on the type of time that y'all two on the holiday, having the rebuttals ready for the wife. Even the daughter, when she found him in the alley, having Amanda meet them in the alley, like Ari, the nigga that you want on your team. That's what this episode defines Ari throughout the series. Like, that's who I want working for me on the back end. So this is probably one of my favorite Ari episodes, man. I really like this one, and all the stakes that were on the table as well. This series does a really good job, unlike other, prestige series, as to where every episode you can tell kind of the stakes, unless they're taking a break like Vegas or something like that. But every episode, the stakes are on the table. Like, what all of this, what's riding on all of this. They did a really good job of previewing that, and as far as Return of the King.
You're absolutely right. Well said, man. It's gonna be fun to actually get to the finale episode and really stack these episodes up against each other versus seasons. But that's gonna wrap up season 3. So just as a recap, the episodes that are moving to the finale. This is the first week where all 3 of us have completely different episodes for both parts. For part A of season 3, I'm taking Vegas, Baby Vegas. Chaz is taking Sorry Ari. Spike Lee is taking What About Bob. For part B, I'm taking The Resurrection. Chaz is taking The Princess Bride. And Spike Lee is taking Return of the King. Those are the episodes moving on to the finale. That's going to wrap up season 3. Another great episode, a little bit longer since we had the 20 episodes to go through in the 2 parts, but I enjoyed every second of it. Next week, we're back to our regular program. Only 12 episodes in season 4. I think season 4, you finally get Medellin, kind of see what they do with that, the build up to that movie, what that's going to look like. They get invited to another film festival, not Sundance. But a lot of moving and shaking, man. A lot of buzz and a lot of hype around Medellin. And people want to see what it's about. So we'll discuss season 4 next week. Talk about our top 5. I appreciate y'all brothers for joining me this evening. Most importantly, I appreciate everyone out there watching, listening. Shout out to YouTube, man. Our YouTube views went up a nice amount from season 1 to season 2. I'm assuming everybody just enjoyed season 2 more than season 1. But yeah, almost definitely tripled, probably quadrupled as far as the views from season 1 to season 2, man. So shout out to y'all out there. That's it. We'll see y'all next week, man. We went a little bit long, but hopefully I know some of y'all like the long form content. We'll see y'all next week for season 4. Y'all be cool. How y'all be cool. Peace.
Peace.
All right, y'all.